Warning, this podcast contains graphic language. What's going on out there, MGTOW? What's going on, incels? What's going on the manosphere? You're right here, Ken the Rican Podcast, one of the hottest podcasts in the world. I'm right here in the Pacific Northwest, podcasting it up all across the world, baby. If this is your first time in the podcast, guess what? It's a fucking shit show. And, we men with hairy balls and we talk shit. That's what we do. And I like to start the intro with the podcast with the theme. So here we go, gentlemen. The theme. Here we go.
It's getting serious on this track, fam.
I respect Ken the Rican. I do. Oh, he's simping for some pussy. Bitches. I'll be a simp all day. Fuck you. Oh, he's simping for some pussy. Bitches.
All right, gentlemen. I want to keep this live stream briefly. It's been heavily shadow banned like you cannot believe, but I get it. All right. On this channel, we focus on different topics and different issues, especially dealing with men and stuff like that. So, for the philosophy of men going their own way, and I want to keep this very pithy because I'm a red pillar, meaning the real red pill, not this nonsense bullshit with these men out there. They took away the red pill and they perverted it, and it's womenation and stuff like that. But the philosophy is still here of men going their own way, MGTOW. So I want to keep this very pithy, and then we're going to get in some real stuff, reality. So if this is your first time out here in my podcast, men going their own way, meaning you go your own way, right? The government is against men and Western society. We get it. I've been preaching about this for years. All right. You're a man going your own way. You do your own thing. Whatever makes you happy. As long as you don't support the government. And we all make mistakes. But the basic of the philosophy, do not date single women or cohabitate with single women. I cannot say do not get married, but I reject the notion of marriage. So that's part of the philosophy. Because the government is going to punish you as a man. And if you want to, don't avoid having children because of the child support laws. Okay. And do not believe the government will tell you or the mainstream. media. They can call you whatever, incels, crazy, nuts, whatever. As a man, do what makes you happy. Especially if you're going your own way. Meaning, you're not going to play the game. You're not going to participate on this nonsense and bullshit. Now, since I'm talking about nonsense and bullshit, see, now this is the red pill. The real red pill. I don't make shit up out of the boogie woogie air shit. I'm out here to prove you that geoengineering, weather manipulation has been going on for years. Now, if you don't believe me, look off my previous podcast. And I give you the basic. Out here, I'm going to play you sound bites. Not by me. I did not make this shit up. All right? I can look stuff up in the internet by government papers and shit like that. And this been taking place for quite some time. And I found this very ironic. All right? Very ironic. 2 hurricanes. One after another. Hitting part of the East Coast South. From the Carolinas to Tennessee to Georgia and stuff like that. Listen, gentlemen, I've been following this shit for years. Years. When I mean years, it's just literally years. Matter of fact, I am from Puerto Rico. I understand hurricanes. I've been in Hugo in 1990. I get it. I understand this stuff. I understand the Pacific Ocean. Sorry, my apologies. The Atlantic and the current from Africa meet the Caribbean and they create organic hurricanes. The native Puerto Rican, the Taínos, which is the native, they got prepared for it. It happens. It's very rare, but it happens. Now, in my point of view, looking at these geoengineering, weather manipulation, that's been weaponized to American people. My point of view, my opinion, looking at this stuff for years, okay? This is one subject that I really know about. I'm not an expert, but I'm not ignorant. I'm not. Due to the fact that I live really close from an Air Force base and I see the clouds sitting, I can see all kinds of shit, how the jets can spread a cloud on a sunny day. Trust me, I got multiple videos that I haven't put online yet. But one of these days, I'm going to put a compilation. This is not new, fellas. This is not new. My previous podcast, I put ChatGPT. This has been going on, at least documented, since the 50s and 60s. Operation Popeye. Just to give a brief understanding of Operation Popeye, it's on my previous podcast, but it was the Ho Chi Minh Trail and how they can manipulate the weather to flood everything. Take out the bridges, take out everything. You flood shit. It's documented. It's there. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making nothing up. All you gotta do is just pa 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 pa. Look it up. It's there. It's been there. For years. And like I said previously, I'm going to keep this very pithy, but I want you to hear some sound bites. If the sound quality sucks, hey, it is what it is. I'm just spraying information out here. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, because sometimes you talk to people and they think you're crazy. Oh yeah, they think you're nuts. How can they manipulate the weather? Well, it's there. It's been there for years. Look it up. So I'm gonna give you two examples, okay? Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. So let me play you one sample here real quick. Example. Let me see if he's still here, because it took me a while just to find the soundbite. And I cannot find it on YouTube, I cannot find it anywhere, so I have to go to C-SPAN and find the soundbite that I'm gonna play you, man. I have to dig in the rabbit hole and stuff like that, because I remember this shit in 2015. All right, gentlemen. 2015. Now, prior of that, I had an intuition, but because due to the fact that, like in the year 2000 and stuff, I used to watch like the History Channel when they used to show videos of wars and stuff like that, in operation and shit. And I was fascinated by fucking history and stuff. And they got this black and white videos and wars and stuff, and they go back to World War II and stuff like that. I was fascinated. I'm a student of history. Right? That's how I learned about the Ho Chi Minh Trail and stuff like that, during the Vietnam War and stuff. So this topic became very fascinating to me. So let me find you here. The quality of the sound is not going to be the same. Like I played previously. Just bear with me. I'm a little fatigued. I'm a little tired. I did not mean to put this live stream here, but it you know, to be honest, it's very, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot that you have so many sheeples out there and they blind. They blind, right? And they're trying to fool you, but you cannot fool. You can fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. Right? Before, just bear with me because it's before I play you the soundbite, listen. And this is my own thesis. Okay? Just bear with me. It's my own thesis. It's hurricane season and stuff like that. For years, I know how hurricane works. I know how they can die down from the sea to land and stuff like that. I know this shit since I was a little kid, okay? They taught this in school. Back then when they used to teach shit. Now they don't teach nothing but bullshit. To me, knowing the history of geoengineering, weather manipulation, something is not adding up. And I'm going to tell you why it's not adding up. Hurricanes die down when it lands in land, okay? It don't get stronger when it goes to land. It gets stronger in the water, and when they hit land, it weakens. So by the time they hit the coast, it goes from category 5, which, you know, it could be like 300 miles, and die down, and, you know, in this particular hurricanes has increased doing land. So obviously there's some kind of manipulation in my point of view. Okay, in my point of view. Okay, just one man here talking, but I am trying to connect the dots. And I'm being polite just because I know the AI is listening and shit like that. Most likely, they will take this video down because I realize what's going on. Now, I'm looking at this new hurricane. I don't even name them anymore. I don't. And this new hurricane is about to hit the western side of Florida. It started in the Gulf of Mexico. There's no fucking way the hurricane can start from the Gulf of Mexico and creep up to Florida and whatever the fuck they're going to do. It starts from Africa. The organic hurricanes start from Africa, where the cold waters meet the hot waters between the month of September, October, and November. It's hurricane season. It don't start at fucking Mexico, at the Gulf of Mexico. It doesn't. In my point of view. And the funny thing to me because it's funny, right? It's not funny. It's disturbing, actually. It's very disturbing. That people gonna lose their homes. People are missing. If you haven't been a hurricane, I've been there. It's shit, man. No communication, no water, no internet, no nothing. Well, back then we didn't have internet, no lights and stuff. Now, as I speak, there's a hurricane happening in Florida. As I speak. You know, I'm going to be honest. My collective thought went to hell in a handbasket right now because God knows what these folks are going through. And I'm gonna be real. I don't have one iota what these folks are going through. I don't have a fucking clue. But it's not good. Excuse me. These motherfuckers. These motherfuckers. They are using weapons against their own people. They are using weapons against our own people. There's no way to look at it. There's no other way to look at it. In my point of view, my opinion. I don't have no facts, but I got a little soundbite that I would like to play for you gentlemen out there. So you just bear with me. So let's start here in the year 2015. Let's see if just bear with me. Okay, so C-SPAN 2015. We have the they have the meeting out there with John Brennan, geoengineering. At the time, he was the CIA head in charge of the CIA department, right? I'm not making anything up. What I provide earlier on the discussion is my own opinion. Now, this is them telling you what is happening. Okay? Not me. Them. And I tried to find this video on YouTube. They banned it. But C-SPAN got the sound bites. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm going to start this thing. Took me a minute to find it, but here we go.
Portions of retired people and older people relative to working age citizens. Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do.
There you go. That's a little piece I can find. But he goes more in detail about it. And this is at the time in 2015, he was head of the CIA. All right. Now, same year, I want to play you another clip, another soundbite. The same year, when I listened to this stuff back, I think it was 7 years ago or something like that, 5 years ago, whatever, right? I was like, holy shit. They can manipulate the weather. Oh yeah, they can do that. Yes, they can. It's due to the fact because the history is there. It's been there. If they did it in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, they still can do it now. Now, let's go back to 2016. And I want to play you a soundbite by a Japanese engineer, American-Japanese engineer with CBS. So just bear with me. Just give me a second here real quick. Okay, here we go. So you're gonna find this soundbite very interesting. Trust me. So let's go back on, what year was this? Yeah, 2016. And just listen what Dr. Michiko Kawaii, laser modification. Because they have to put this in the public because it's obviously there. You can look at this shit up yourself in the internet. You can. The white papers are there. So I'm not making anything up. How can I make this shit up? So this is the mainstream media Because they all, obviously they have to tell you what the fuck is going on, right? They have to tell you. That's how it is. So listen to these interview by these engineer.
Change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor MGTOW is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. They did not get into this discussion,
No.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really? To change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions. And these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning. Katie, go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo-jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now. And in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
So what does it mean for drought areas that need to have rain for crops? And if they don't have them, there's the consequences of famine.
Well, the bad news is if it's a clear blue sky, it's not going to do anything at all because it only takes water vapor that's already in the air and condenses it. However, for floods, for agriculture, farmers, for people planning wedding parties, football games, you name it, outdoor events in agriculture and flooding and even hurricanes, all of them could be subject to weather modification.
Incredibly interesting, Professor MGTOW. Thank you.
In the United States,
Well,
copyright law allows for the fair use of
there we go. We have it. It's well documented. So if you think that's what's going on with these so-called hurricanes hitting certain areas in the United States, in my humble opinion, is being manipulated. Now, why these certain areas? I have a clue. It's not concrete, but I have a clue. Elections coming here in the next couple 30-something days. Are they trying to avoid people from voting since they cannot steal it? So are they trying to avoid people from voting? Because their home has been flooded, people died, drowned, can't get no supplies, no transportation. if the weather can be manipulated, and the people cannot go out there to vote, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I really don't have a clue, but I have understanding. I really do. At least I try to do, right? I'm trying to connect the dots. That's it. But it's very suspicious and very, it stinks. It stinks really bad. It smells like shit. Listen, man. Gentlemen, I get it. You can call me crazy. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine with it. I have come in my point of, in my lifehood, that when I talk to friends, relative, they think I'm nuts. They think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I am a rational man thinker. Nothing more, nothing less. Just rational. Not radical, not this, not rational. And that's a problem that this country has been facing. There's no more rational thinking. People don't sit and think and look up stuff, right? Because it's all about emotional. It's all about emotional, but no rational thinking. I provided the facts. Meaning, you can look this stuff up by yourself. Operation Popeye, Ho Chi Minh Trail. And you dig in there, of course. In my mind, and my soul, and my body, my thesis is correct. There is weather manipulation taking place and killing United States citizens. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. It's a deadly weapon. It sure is, man. I think there was a phrase back in the days. Those who control the weather control something. I forgot the terminology. And this was back in the days, you know. If you guys remember the phrase, those who control the weapon, those who control the weather control something, write on the comment because I totally forgot what it was. It's, you know, to be honest with you, gentlemen, it's a lot of times that I think to myself, I think I'm wrong about this shit. I think I'm just a little paranoid or whatever. But then my convention come back against like, nah, you're not paranoid. You're correct. Because Can the Rican, you did not make this shit up. It's been there. All you did is just like look some stuff that's out there in the public. And they telling you about it. So these officials, they go on this corporation TV and they tell you about it. And they work for the government. So how am I supposed to react? It must be true because they work for them. They know what the fuck they're doing. You know? I know this is gonna sound like obvious or whatever because I don't want. I pray for those people in Florida right now who are about to hit. They're about to get hit with this storm in Florida. My prayers to the universe to give them hope to survive the storm. And to give them strength. Because what's going to happen in this in this few days is going to be very devastating. I'm talking right now. Pacific time is what? 1:35 in the morning. It's 4:35 on Wednesday on Florida. May God bless Florida. May God bless United States. And I think I'm kind of fatigued right now. I think I'm done with this shit. May God bless the American people. Like I always say, gentlemen, peace, state MGTOW. I will catch you next podcast, live stream or video. Let the universe be with you.